Radical.
Grand Theft Auto, the definitive edition. I'm going to give some initial thoughts on this. And here we are at the website. And here's the announcement, the official announcement. In honor of the upcoming anniversary, today we are excited to announce that all three games will be coming to current generation platforms later this year, and Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the definitive edition for PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series XS, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and the Rockstar Games launcher on PC. Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the definitive edition, will feature across-the-board upgrades including graphical improvements and modern gameplay enhancements for all three titles, while still maintaining the classic look and feel of the originals. We're extremely excited to share more about these groundbreaking titles in the coming weeks. Stay tuned. To prepare for the launch, we will begin removing existing versions of the classic titles from digital retailers next week. For more information, please visit Rockstar Games Support. As part of the 20th anniversary celebration, look for a cavalcade of special gear to collect in Grand Theft Auto Online through the coming events in the fall, including commemorative clothing and liveries. Okay, so here's my initial thoughts on this. Well, first off, I think it's great that they're re-releasing these. I've seen some footage. I think it's great they're re-releasing these in a somewhat affordable package. You know, 3 games, 3 huge games, I might add, 3 of the biggest games of all time for $60. I think that is a little pricey. Maybe $39.99 would have been, fair. But I'm reading more about the improvements and the enhancements. And there's a lot of things about, this release that I might go into later when I have a little more time. But this is my initial thoughts. First off, they're removing existing versions of the classic titles from digital retailers next week. Okay, so I have a 360, and I have one of the versions of San Andreas on the 360. And I might have it downloaded on the Xbox One. Here's my question. Will I still have access to that version of it, or are they going to automatically update it to the new version? There's positives and negatives because of that. Of course, for game preservation, a lot of people, like having access to the older versions of games, Sure, the new version, of course, is going to be nicer looking. It's going to have a lot of improvements. But there's something to be said for actually having access or an option to buy the old version. Same deal with movies. How many times have they re-released Star Wars? And some people are just like, well, we're curious. We want to see the original versions. Well, hell, I might not have time for follow-ups on this, so I'll just give my thoughts on the footage I saw. Is it worth it? Well, it depends. Is it worth buying these old games right now? Depends on if you're a huge fan of the Grand Theft Auto series. And I think if you're at all interested in video games, between GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, those 3 games right there, that trilogy, this literally could be the game, the release that you play for a full year without having to play anything else. My favorite game of all time would happen to be San Andreas. So for me, this is a must-buy, because I'm just curious what they're going to do with it. And I've seen footage, just the minute that they released, and I'll leave a link to it down below. And it parts, the lighting, the reflections, there's actual rain, new rain effects. In GTA 3 I saw, looks quite stunning. The sides of buildings, the neon, basically the lighting is going to be a big improvement. That's going to be one big improvement. The textures, of course. It's like getting to relive these games. It's not a full remaster. It's a remake. But here's what's different about it, and I'm really intrigued and interested, is in the cutscenes, the characters look a lot different. They almost have kind of like a Pixar vibe to them. And in some ways, they look kind of weird. I mean, you get used to it. But that's making me really curious. That's making me really curious to play these, through again.